Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. What we have today to do, the title of the topic is the method of group of averages. This is another method of curve fitting section. So first of all, we shall be describing the theory of this method. The title of the method is the method of group of averages. As I told you, okay, this is another topic or another method from the section of the group of curve fitting section. So here first we shall be see okay, how actually this method works and what are the prerequisites behind this method, and then at the end, as usual, we'll be applying the theory we developed on solving a question. So here we take start from a set of points, because if you remember in the previous method of the curve fitting by using the graphs, so there we were also given a set of points. So here again we are taking start a set of points, say xi and yi, and I goes from 1 to n. So you can say here that these are n number of points, and the curve which we are looking to pass through these points is a straight line of the form, say y is equals to a plus bx. This is the line we are going to make pass through these given set of points, and of course you already know about this line as we have discussed in the previous lecture. So this is the straight line we are looking to pass through the given set of points. Now here we can see here from this particular information, if we bring all these results in the form of a graph, just for the learning point view, suppose this is the plane and the line which we are using is y is equals to ax plus b, a plus bx is representing by this straight line, and the point number 1, which is x1, y1, is corresponding to the first x values corresponding to x1. Now you can see here the expectation is corresponding to x1, the point should lie on the line. But we observe that the point is not exactly on the line, but it is slightly above the line. So here we show the two solid circles, one of them which is exactly on the line and the other one is slightly above the line. The expectation was this point should be on the line, but we observed that the corresponding to x1, the point is not exactly on the line, but it is slightly above the line. Similarly, corresponding to the next point, which is x2, y2, the corresponding value are shown on this on the graph. You can see here once again the expected point was the point should be on the line, but the observed value is slightly above the line. If we keep on placing the different points, and here we see that corresponding to the second last point, say xn minus 1, the observed value is slightly below the expected value. And here again there is slight difference in between these. And the last point will be somewhere, let me show it here, in the form, say this one is here. So here you can see that a few of the observed values are above the x-axis, above the straight line, and few of the observed values are below the line. So here we show them by writing it in the mathematical form. If the point gives you exactly the same value which we are looking for, so then this equation must be satisfied corresponding to this value. So here we can see the observed value which is slightly above the expected value. So there is a gap in between these two values, and this gap is represented by a difference, or in other words there is slight deviation, and we show the deviation corresponding to the first point x1. If I show it by d1, so d1 will be the difference in between the two values. One of them is the observed value. Observed value is, you can see here, observed value and the minus the expected value. And you can see here the observed value is slightly above the line, and if I label the observed value, call it by say it is equals to y1, so in mathematics we can write down it is equals to y1. And the expected value, this x coordinate must satisfy this equation, so I can take it as a plus b times x1. So the difference of these two values gives you the first difference or deviation, which is corresponding to the expected value to the observed value. So now you can see here, this difference is generally known as the error. And the task is to, of course, we have to minimize, or in other words, we have to eliminate the error. Now, if I keep on writing the same equations or same results corresponding to the other points, point number 2, so the result can be obtained by writing it as y2 minus a plus b times x1. Okay, you can see here, corresponding to the next, we can write down the difference in the same pattern. Okay, now similarly, if I keep on going and writing the difference for the nth point, so the result takes the form a plus b xn. And now you can see here, we got a pattern in which we can find the differences in between the expected values and the observed values. Now the question arises, as you can see from the figure, that few of the expected values and the observed values are above the straight line, or few of them are below the line. So in such a way, few of the differences will be positive and few of the differences will be negative. Of course, it will happen. Now, the method depends upon, this method is basically based upon an assumption, and the assumption is that one, due to the reason that the few of the differences, as I told you, are positive and few of the differences are negative due to the few of the expected observed points above the straight line and few of them are below the straight line, due to which we have these quantities either positive or negative. But the method based upon an assumption, and the assumption is, let me erase it from here and write the assumption. Okay, so the assumption is the sum of all the differences, if I represent is the sum by sigma notation, and di stands for the differences ranging from say I is equals to 1 to n for all the points, and the sum of these differences is equals to 0. So here you can see that this particular method of group of averages depends upon an assumption, and this is the assumption which we are going to introduce here, that the sum of the differences of all the expected to the observed values should be equals to 0. Okay, after knowing that, now the actual procedure of the method starts. What is the procedure of the method? As you know that the title of the method is the method of group of averages. So here we are now going to group our set of points. So here we are going to divide the given set of points into the set of two groups. So here originally we have selected n points, if you remember, I, xi and yi, and I goes to from 1 to n. So here we are going to divide this group of points into the two subgroups.